Hello students, this is our 8th class of PHP and today I will be discussing user-defined functions. Let me tell you the definition of a function. A function is a block of statements that can be used repeatedly in a program and we cannot execute the function directly when the page loads. We have to make a call to the function so that we can execute the statements inside this function. PHP has over 1,000 built-in functions that can be called directly from the PHP scripts to do or to perform a particular task. If we want to define a function to do the customized task in our script, then that function is known as user-defined function. Let us see how do we define a function. So the first thing what is needed is you have to use a keyword called as function to define a function. Then you have to give a name to your function. So I will say then the body of the function. So opening and closing braces. And inside this function, you are going to type the statements that you would like to execute. As I mentioned earlier, the function is not executed automatically after the page load. So we have to make a call to the function. This statement will call the function message and the echo statement inside our function message will be executed. This is a statement in our function. This function is without any argument. See here, there is an argument. We will send some value to this variable called as message. And let us supply some argument to the function message. Now if you see the code, we have declared a function with the keyword function. The name of our function is message. It has one argument and that is a variable $msg. In its body we have echo statement and whatever is the value of this variable $msg will be displayed on the screen. Outside this function body there is a call to the function message with one argument called as hello. This argument hello will be stored into the variable message and that will be printed in this echo statement. Again we have made a second call to the message and a third call to the message. Let us run our program. Let's add break. So we have called the function message 3 times and every time we have supplied some different argument and whatever argument we have supplied with the message that is stored over here in this variable $message. This is a simple example of user-defined function. Let's have one more example of user-defined function. We have declared a function called as add and this add function has two arguments $a and $b. We have specified the data type of both the arguments. The first argument is of type integer as well as the second argument is also of type integer. In the body of the function, let us add these two numbers and send it. So there is a return statement. We will return some value from the function $a plus $b. Call the function add and supply the values. I'll say 3 and 7. So we are supplying two integer numbers 3 and 7. 3 is received as variable A as well as 7 is received as variable B. Both the values 3 and 7 will be added here in this statement and the addition, the result will be returned. So this is the result 10. 7 plus 3 is 10. This is little better. So we say sum is 10. This 3 is treated as an integer number as well as 7 is also treated as an integer number. If I change this to, this is a number, 3 is a number, but 7 number is a string. I will save the program and let us see when we run the program what happens. It's displaying a notice for our string value, but still you see it is adding the numbers. This is because PHP automatically associates a data type to the variable depending on its value and it will still add and show you the proper result. Let's have one more example with the default argument value for the functions, user-defined functions in PHP. So what exactly is this default argument value? We'll see one example. In this will have an argument of type int. I'll say int $a is equal to some value, say 3. Now we'll call the function set value. So we are calling the function set value with the value 4. It says the value is 4. In our function, in our argument, we have set the default value for our variable $a as 3. If when the user sends some value as an argument while calling the function, that value is assigned to our variable a and this default value is ignored. But if I call the function without any value, I'll call the function set value and I'll not pass any parameter, I'll not pass any argument. So in such case, whatever is the default value we have specified in the definition of the function, that value is displayed. So for the first time when we call the function set value, we called it with the argument 4 and 4 is assigned to variable $a and it is being displayed. Second time we call the function set value without any parameter or without any argument, and in that case the default value, which is 3, is being assigned to the variable $a and is displayed. One more example I would like to discuss. Now suppose when we call a function and if a function is returning some value, in that case to declare a type for the function return, you have to add a colon and we'll add float numbers now. I'll say add. It is a good practice to use a camel case while declaring the function, though it is considered as a good programming practice. Float variable, so float $a. Now we want to give a data type for the return value by this function. So let us say float. So this function should return only the float value. So you have to add a colon, write the type before the opening curly brace. Let us echo the result. Pass some values 3.2, 6.7, so it's 9.9. We call the function add float. We supplied two arguments 3.2 as well as 6.7. 3.2 is received as a float value and is assigned to the variable a. 6.7 is received as a float value and assigned to variable b, and when we added these two numbers, the return type is also float and the value 9.9 is returned as a float value. If I change the return type to int, then in that case we have to do the typecasting. Typecasting is done. We have to convert the result into int, and this is how we typecasted the result. The original result was of float type and we changed that float type to int type. Let's save the program, run and see the output. So this is the output. Instead of 9.9, it is displaying only 9 because the return type was int and we did the typecasting from float to int for the result of addition of these two float values. That's all for the day. Thank you.